Well, let's come out of that story for some breaking news coming in this morning. President Jacob Zuma has now filed a reply affidavit to Freedom Under Law and the Helen Suzman Foundation's court application to have the head of the NPA suspended. The president has called the court application premature and an abuse of the court processes. And the president also sees the move by the NGOs as an attempt to usurp his powers by demanding that he exercise an executive power. He also believes that the Helen Suzman Foundation and Freedom Under Law are in effect inviting the court to run the country through the court processes. So that is the breaking news that he has launched that urgent application. He says, well, knowing that I am in the process of considering exercising my power in terms of Section 12 of the NPA Act, is an abuse of the court process and is at best for the applicants premature. The Honourable Court should show its displeasure against the applicants and dismiss the application with costs. That was one of the statements said in those replying affidavits. He also said, I've written to the second and fourth respondents on the 14th of November and afforded them the opportunity as to why I should not place them on suspension pending the outcome of the inquiry into their fitness to hold office by the 28th of November. So Sean Abrams has until the 28th to respond to the president explaining why he should not be suspended. Copies of those letters have been annexed in this affidavit applied by the president to the courts. It's a fairly lengthy document. We do have a copy of it. Another important part of it is the applicants, without any substantiation, allege that the decision of the third and fourth respondents to charge the Minister Gordhan wiped out 50 billion rand off the economy, and that the second respondent expects to undermine the integrity of the NPA even further and perhaps wipe another 50 billion off the stock exchange. So some fairly harsh words coming in from the president. ANN7 Assignments Editor Buntu Williams joins me now on the line just to give us some context to this. Buntu, some fairly harsh words from the president there, saying that this is premature and that the courts are ruling the country.
Well, I'm thinking that the president will be having many more harsh words for people raising issues that are still yet to be determined by judicial process, by planned, proposed judicial inquiries. So definitely, we've seen him last week responding to former public protector Thuli Madonsela to desist from making public commentary on goings-on regarding his role or his implication in the public protector's report on state capture. Now comes this one because I think he feels a bit aggrieved, as he said, that these processes and COPE, actually the Congress of the People, also issued a statement yesterday in which it said that nowhere has Brian Molifa, for example, or President Jacob Zuma been directly fingered, but it's been observations as issued by the public protector. Nowhere have they been charged with any wrongdoing. So this idea of things being premature, the notion of prematurity, is what he is referring to, and more people seem to be coming around and echoing him.
Now, it's becoming quite a messy affair, this, Buntu. We've got the NPA, Sean Abrams. We've got the Hawks and the NPA seemingly at loggerheads with each other as well. We've now got the president involved as well as the finance minister. I guess, where are we going to end up with all of this?
Peter, the end is nowhere near. It's nowhere near in sight. You must remember that there's still the small matter of the rogue unit that is also ongoing. That has the Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan in it. And, of course, on this one, on the withdrawal of the charges, we know that the president has, I think Sean Abrahams now has about 11 or 10 days in which to reply to the president why he shouldn't be suspended. But on the other hand, you have the head of the Hawks that is now emerged in court papers that he had an angry exchange of letters with Mr. Abrahams, Advocate Abrahams, in which he was saying that he perhaps did not have to drop the charges against Finance Minister Gordhan. So, you know, it's still going to get on for a while. I mean, if you have to think about it, this year, there have only been, since March, about 2-3 stories that have dominated the news, and everything has simply emanated from there. If it's not the rogue unit, then it's Pravin Gordhan's future. If it's not Pravin Gordhan's future, it's the Guptas. If it's not the Guptas, then it's companies linked to someone and so on. everything seems to have come around. And then Sean Abraham comes in at the end, complicates the matter even more. And so these stories are not about to end. They certainly are not. So the public protector issues a report, then it turns out very divisive in the way that it's divided opinion and led to some, people sort of, leaving their jobs because they're concerned about image and how this is reflecting on them and the organizations that they're in charge of. So it's still going to continue to be as divisive as he is, and it's still going to continue to be as dramatic as he is. I don't expect anything to slow down anytime soon.
I guess many people are seeing some irony in this story now, Bunti, and I'll explain where I'm going with this, is that, Shaun Abrahams has been accused of bowing to political pressure by dropping the charges against Pravin Gordhan. Now the president is seemingly under huge amounts of political pressure to fire Shaun Abrahams. He says, and I'll quote, he says, "It's untrue that the decision to suspend or hold an inquiry is a foregone conclusion, as alleged by the applicants." Now this is the president referring to a possible inquiry into the fitness to hold office of Shaun Abrahams. And the president is seemingly under pressure here politically to sack Shaun Abrahams.
That's not for me to say. I can tell you that I'm a journalist, so I can only give you point out to questions or point the questions out. I can't quite give you that kind of opinion. But what I can tell you is definitely there's pressure. Definitely there is a talking point, and political pressure seems the obvious part of least resistance in this case, because if we are talking about it and President Zuma was to ignore us, then of course it'll be like he's not quite interested, is indifferent, and doesn't care and doesn't want to engage. And I think this process is just formalizing things so that South Africa justice should be seen to be done. There was lots of concern the moment he announced the charges against Pravin Gordhan, and the question was asked, if you're wrong, will you resign? And he had said, no, we wouldn't. And there he stands again. And he believes that the decision, the suggestion that he defend himself against suspension is rather unfair. And I think he has proven on two platforms that he has the legalese, to assault or fight back against any implication that he should resign. And we've seen him go to Parliament, and he made the same statement. Of course, you should remember that in the very first press conference, which other media never quite reported on it at all, was that he did say that he would review the charges should there be representation. Obviously, in the case of Mr. Gordhan, there wasn't. So Shaun Abrahams also was at pains to emphasize that he was not the one to have come up with the charges, to have drafted the charges. But then the expectation would have been that he would have sat and looked at things thoroughly, comprehensively before standing out, on a public platform and making an announcement about charging the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister. So there you are. He has political pressure. He has